So David France, Team Fiasco. I run a HCR 32 sedan. Had it almost a little over 8 years now, kind of working through things. I mean, I guess let's get into the breakdown here. So once I got it, it was already wide bodied, had some stuff done to it, but it was mostly bolt-ons. Right before the first knuckle up event, I was on furlough at the house, just learning TIG welding, and ended up making my own intake manifold for the car. So instead of the actual crossover, it's actually forward facing, and went a little deeper into that. I've seen a lot of crossovers that don't allow you to use the access the fuel rail. And my whole vision for it was like, if I'm gonna do it, it needs to be serviceable to where I can actually get the thing. So I changed it up from what I've seen online. But other than that, I mean, we're basically a stock RB20, Greddy TD05 18G with a Kinagawa 9-blade exhaust turbine. External gate, front mount, you know, just normal bolt-ons from that point. With tune, made about 320, nothing super crazy, but plenty to have fun. Yeah, the car's been through a lot front suspension wise. Just kind of, I think I've had 4 different front suspensions on the car, just playing with what I like and kind of figuring out the car. Finally settled on basically just 15mm extended lowers, GK Tech knuckles, and some cheap eBay upper arms, like super simple setup, and it just works. Running PS Deuce kit, one of my favorites. It's subtle but aggressive at the same time. Always really liked it. TBO grill, charge feed vent. I was always back and forth on whether I wanted to mold the vent in, just to make it one unified piece. And it's like, you look back at a lot of the old option videos and stuff, and when you see these on the cars in that time period, they were all just bolted on. And so that's kind of what led me to just leaving it that way versus actually molding it into the hood. Long story short, we qualified the second Special Stage South to go to Wisconsin and US Air. Couldn't afford to get the cars there and all that at the time, so we all just went and hung out, you know. And during that time, of course, you sit down, you have a beer, you talk, and we kind of decided I was going to paint the car silver, and because it was originally white, and I was the only white car on the team except for Andrew. Then he sold his car, so it was just 2 silver cars and a white car. It's kind of off-putting, I guess. Ended up painting the car silver, and then I got the car about 8 years ago. Had the vision of infusing the lowrider style with it, and when I decided to do the silver, Ryan, the owner of the WRX, he was like, dude, we'll paint the roof, we'll lace it, we'll do the whole 9 yards. And I was like, if you're in, I'm in. So next thing I know, we're spraying the roof in the garage, we're flaking it outside. I literally have pictures of me holding a light and just flake everywhere because we're flaking this thing out outside in front of the house. But yeah, so I mean, he came through, did a killer job on the roof. I cannot thank him enough for doing that, because without that piece, this whole vision wouldn't happen. So then kind of fast forward after that, ended up getting the pinstriping done. The pinstriping was done by a gentleman called Loki on Instagram. He's pretty much the OG pinstriper in DFW, you know, Dallas, Fort Worth. He's the guy. He's the guy. So yeah, paint.
Yeah, you said there's something special going on with the lace on the roof here?
Yeah, so the lace, we had done a few test panels on just some, you know, sheets that we had laying around, and I had a different lace at the time, and that lace was actually flopped instead of being actual full lace. And when we spray it, you don't get all the little details of the paint coming through the lace. And I was in Vegas for SEMA for work, and my wife wanted to go to the Haunted Mansion. So we're there, we're looking at all the haunted stuff, you know, we're into creepy things like that. So we're in the gift shop afterwards, and I see this lace hanging on one of the bookshelves, and I was like, I have to have it. And I asked them if they sold them, and luckily they did. So fly back 2 days later, we're shooting this lace on the car. Then we throw down some water droplets and then do the little fan technique. Having the vision, and then me and him sitting down and just collabing on the overall design. And then he came through and just killed it. Like I could not be happier with what he's done for me in the car.
So on the interior, are these custom seats?
Yeah. So they're just regular Corbos, but when I got them, the seats weren't that comfortable, to be honest. And I'm getting older nowadays, back starts hurting, things like that. So I reached out to my buddy who works for PG Upholstery, Noel. He drove special. I think he drove the first special stage, or maybe it was the second with us. I can't remember. But he drove, and I hit him up and I was like, dude, I need these center sections redone. And I was like, I want to go purple with diamond stitching. And they had just got their massive table stitching machine. And I was actually the first one to hit the table to get this stuff done. And when I got it done, I told him, I was like, all right, I'm getting old. Let's throw some bolster or lumbar support in there, like let's kind of beef that up a little bit. And he did it. And I swear, I'll take the bottom cushion out of this and sit on the bucket, and I'll drive this car all day with that lumbar support. It's amazing. So I have hood, I have the C-pillars, and I actually have the trunk also on the back.
Tell me a little bit more about this trunk. Did you do all of this yourself?
I did. So Angel and I, we talked quite a bit, just inspiration from Japan and things like that. And we had seen a car that it was a coupe that had a trunk done like this, and I loved it. And so I did mine. We ended up doing Angel's trunk, and then we also did Ryan's. So at one point, all three of our cars had trunks done. And it was just one of those things, like we stripped them down in the garage and took a grinder to them, found our happy place and just cleared them, just super simple. But it was just one of those things, like you just kind of see something, take some inspiration from it, and you're like, you know what, I can do that. So we, as a team, we really emphasize trying to do a lot of the work ourselves. It might not be the best quality, it might not be perfect, but we just feel that is something to do, and not only that, but each one of us brings something different to the table for the team, which helps it be sustainable. Because let's be real, this isn't a cheap hobby. So the more that we can sustain doing things ourselves, the cheaper it is for us. And not only that, but I was talking with somebody earlier, and it's like, looking back at it, doing stuff like this, it adds a whole nother level of connection with you and that car. So it's like the connection I have with this car now is way different than it was before the paint and the lace and all the pinstriping. It adds to the story of the car itself. And that's one thing I really like, kind of rambling on this. But for me, I take a lot of inspiration from Abu Moon, just low style and make it work low, don't raise it, and I've always been that way. And so I have his sticker here. He actually blessed me with that. So that's kind of one of my, I don't know, I guess you could say something I'm kind of proud about, that the man himself likes the car, yeah, I don't know. That's one piece that means a lot to me. And then I guess just the rest of the car in general at this point, we're so deep in now with everything we've done. I just couldn't see the car any other way at this point. So I do have another variation of this that I would like to see, which actually will end up getting rid of the trunk. But I have a pretty cool wing that's rather rare that I would like to put on this car. And I would tie in the pinstriping with that, or maybe do lace work on top of the wing, something like that to kind of tie it in. But I do have a secondary vision for this car in this configuration, if you will. You can just go to fiasco.tx. That's the team. All of our handles are on there from that point. A little easier that way. But yeah, man, we're here to just drive and have a good time and see how things go.